This for the fofo. This for the fofo. For the city and the back roads, got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the fofo and let's go. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the fofo chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewell got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they no defeating no dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and kinda got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the fofo. This for the fofo. This for the fofo.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Cinco de Mayo. It is Friday here on, you know what? It's not raining, so I'm not complaining about anything else. It's a little bit chilly out there, but it is dry, and it looks like we are going to get some baseball and softball games in today. Fortunately, yesterday we were able to get some baseball and softball games in today. Yesterday, as even though the fields were kind of tough to play on, you know, there's still quite a bit. So that'll be part of the show that is returning. Today we're going to go through the scoreboards, talk about some of the standings. Tonight I will be broadcasting on YSN Live. We're going to be doing the St. John versus Maplewood game, as that is going to be happening this evening, assuming, you know, we don't get any more rain or any more other of that junk. Yeah, so that's what we've got going on. I'll tell you what, I'm excited about it because it's getting to the point. Like I missed it. You know, it's a grind. I'll be honest with you guys. It's an absolute grind at times to try and get some of these games covered. You know, it really is. You know, working, you know, during the regular day, doing, you know, the nursing and the travel stuff that I do, and then getting to these games, it's a grind, and you get tired. But I'll tell you what, when you get a bunch of days in a row where you're not covering anything, it's like, what am I doing? Where are all the games? Like I was out there, you know, I was looking for a checkers match to cover because like you get so used to this routine, and I truly enjoy it, and it's a blessing. And I want to put a huge thank you out to all the athletic directors and YSN and all these people who, you know, make it a reality, you know, this sports broadcasting that I get to do, because it is a gift. At the end of the day, it's a gift, and it's something that to be able to do something that you like to do is really a gift. Let me go ahead and do our sound check. All right, good. We're good on the sound. But yeah, so we're going to jump right into it just because we haven't had games on the show in forever, it seems. And, you know, make sure you don't forget to tune in on Sunday at 7 o'clock for the Diamond Roundup. Now, on the Diamond Roundup, that is where we are going to unveil our new power rankings. The YSN Power 20 is one of those that is, I guess, loved and hated. It's a computer point system that ranks all of the teams under the YSN umbrella. We pick the top 20. We put them on there on a point system. It's really I think it's a great way of doing things because you take the personal part out of it. You know, people tend to, myself included, you tend to maybe lean a little bit closer toward the teams that you cover. You know, I'm Mr. 440, so you know it's really hard for me to kind of judge 440 teams fairly at times against other teams. That doesn't mean I'm unrealistic, but sometimes you may give a little bit more of a, you know, an inch there. But when you put it in the points, when you put it in the system, and you take, you know, you take these concrete measures, and that's what you're doing. You're creating concrete measures. Like if you do this and this and this, you get this. You put that in there, it truly becomes the most fair. Now I know there's no way to perfect it. We took as many factors that we could in realistically with the Power 20. But there's no perfect one. But this one is perfect for us. How about that? So that'll be unveiled on Sunday. The starting 9, which is going to pick the 9 best baseball and softball performances throughout the week. That will be unveiled on Sunday. It's really a fun show. Anthony Hartwig, me and Anthony Hartwig doing the show. Last week we had Ty Bartell. We've had various guests coming in, whether it's Steve Leslie, DJ Yoakley. There's a lot of stuff coming, and I'm really excited as tournament time is knocking on the door to see maybe what other guests are going to join us on the show. Because it really is a fun one. It's loosely based on the Super Show from football season. So that's another kind of cool thing. It's one of those things that as I become a part of that show, which I'll be honest with you, it's probably of all the shows we do on the network, the Super Show on Friday nights during football season, it's probably my favorite. I'm really looking forward to getting back into that one. Love baseball, love basketball, but at my core, I'm a football guy. So I'm really looking forward to football, actually starting again. Give you guys all an update on the Combine. The Combine is going to happen this year. We're going to have our 3rd annual Combine, Ashtabula County Combine. It's going to be in July, and it's going to be at Geneva Spire this year. I'm really excited about this. Change of venue, a little bit of a bigger venue. And it's going to be a bigger event. And I say it's going to be a bigger event because this year, while we're going to have the 7 out of 8 teams from Ashtabula, and you never know, I'm hoping to make it all 8. That's something that we're actively working toward a reconciliation, that sort of thing, trying to get those Geneva Eagles right here on YSN, home where they belong. But it'll be all the Ashtabula teams taking part in this one. As well as some other teams from the YSN under that YSN umbrella. I can't say which teams yet, but there will be some additional teams that are going to be making the trip up Route 11 to take part in this. It's going to be an absolute blast this year. The Combine is something that is near and dear to my heart. This one was my baby. It's like this thing that I've developed. So I'm really excited to see the growth, to kind of move it into this world-class facility in Spire. If you've never been to Spire, I really encourage you to go out and check it out. It's a marvel. It's a marvel. Right here in Ashtabula, Ohio, we have an Olympic-level facility, a world-class facility, whether you're talking about basketball, volleyball, swimming, indoor track, outdoor track, you name it. Spire is this really big, huge sports complex with great people running it. The basketball program is an absolute blast to go check it out. We've covered some of their games on here, and shout out to Jeff Gonzalez, who is, doing coaching over there as well. I mean, you talk about a guy from a local guy, an Edgewood graduate, that is coaching, world-class level athletes out there in their post-grad program. We got a chance to broadcast games on here of that post-grad basketball, and those guys are going to be playing Division I basketball next year. I mean, some of the craziest, most electric plays we have are from those games, and it's really a blast. Spire really has got it going on. You should go out there and check. I know that right now that they have implemented new programming like wrestling, lacrosse, and lacrosse is one of those things that we are embracing here on YSN. There's some various lacrosse matches that have been broadcast on here. It's not something that has necessarily taken off in Ashtabula yet, but lacrosse is a really popular sport. The further and the closer to Cleveland you get, and I believe the closer to Youngstown. That one I can't speak to enough yet of. But I know the closer you get to Cleveland, lacrosse grows and grows and grows. And by the time you get all the way down to Columbus, it's a huge sport. Well, Spire's offering, their academy is doing a lacrosse team as well. I believe there's a young man from Jefferson that went to Spire's wrestling program this year. So there's all kinds of great stuff going on out there. I'm really excited to kind of get in with Spire, start working with them, this collaborative effort. I think you're going to see some of the best. So make sure you guys keep your calendars open in July. I can promise you it won't be the weekend of the 4th. But make sure you keep your weekend, your weekends open in July, because that's when we're going to be doing the 3rd annual Ashtabula County Combine with YSN and YSN schools. I'm super excited about this one. I can't tell you guys how much I am just really happy that it's growing. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to our first set of breaks before we get into these scores. And when we come back, we'll start hitting on scores. After that, we're going to start going to we'll talk about some of the games that are on the network today, and we'll go from there. My name is Sam Torres, and this is the 440 Sports Show. This is a part of the show where I got to remind you guys all that the 440 Sports Show is still looking for sponsorship. We're still looking for advertisements. YSN as a whole is the bus is gassed up by advertisement and sponsorships. It's those people and the people who want to help that allow us to create these broadcasts, to cover these games, to do these shows, to do these extras, the YSN All-Star Games. All those things are all fueled by local businesses. We don't have Nike or anybody yet, but we do have you. And we're hoping that, one of the things we do is provide a value in the advertisement, because you talk about from all the way up here from Ashtabula all the way down to Akron now. You're going to cover a huge area. It's truly regional. Regional advertising is what we get to offer. There's almost 70 schools, and there's well over 70 demographics. You're going to run on, daily talk shows. You're going to run on broadcasts. I mean, there's a ton of room for your product, your business to get out there. And then last but certainly not least, you're helping the kids, because it's those sponsorships and advertisement dollars that are going to let us create the opportunities we do for the kids. So if you know somebody with a business, or you're a business owner yourself, I'd love to talk to you. I would, I'd love to try and put together some sort of a package that works for you. And in Ashtabula, I'd love to get Ashtabula represented right here on your sports network. So with that, we're going to go to our first break, and our first break is brought by our friends at Toyota of Warren.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Clint. Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers. Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to to think outside the box in big ways? We're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam Torres here from the 440 Sports Show. We're going to get into some of the scores from yesterday. All right, here we go. Starting on Thursday. Man, I'll tell you what, I just want to show you guys. This is the difference between Thursday, which you love to see this. You love to see this. I just want you to take it something that's not so great. This is Wednesday. 2 total games on softball, 1 game on baseball. It is just unbelievable. Really, truly unbelievable. Here we go. On Thursday, May 4th, you got East Palestine falling to Columbiana. Columbiana going to go up in this one 7-1. Canfield, this is a big one. This is a big one for Canfield, beating Fitch, and I can only imagine that this is going to serve as a power rankings booster for Canfield. That's a really big win on Fitch. Fitch, a division, I believe they're Division I team. Akron Hoban gets a big Division I win here as well over University School. Garrettsville Garfield 19-0 over Brookfield. That one gets out of hand there pretty quickly. Cambridge goes 4-2 over Edison. You got Campbell Memorial falling to Newton Falls 7-0. Crestview 3-1 win over Champion. Southern Local is going to beat Jefferson County Christian 7-2. You got Lake Center Christian. They are going to beat Warren JFK 6-5. JFK has been pretty up for most of the season, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what that loss is going to do to them in the power rankings, as well as you got some teams, including West Branch right here, going 5-0 with that win. Lisbon gets a big W yesterday, 12-0 over Youngstown East. McDonald goes 10-0 over Mineral Ridge. South Range and Struthers, that one was a barn burner. South Range goes 7-6 over Struthers in that NE8. You got Firestone, who is going to lose to Louisville 10-0, and Louisville continuing their climb, trying to get themselves back into a big logo status as well. And Lakeview 9-0, as Lakeview is beginning to close in on that NE8 title. Lakeview has been impressive this year. There's no way other way to speak about it. Lakeview has come out. They have won a ton of games that people didn't think they were going to, and obviously won the games that they should have. So shout out to those Bulldogs, because they've really gotten it done, and I think that they may. Oh, excuse me. I think that they may be. I think that they may be closing in on a conference title. Eric Collins. LeBray also beating Liberty 10-0. Thanks, Eric. I probably have a third one in here too. As we're going to head over to the softball side of things here too. You got South Range and Struthers. Struthers goes 12-0 over South Range goes 12-0 over Struthers. Ashtabula County matchup here, as Conneaut is going to go 14-8 over Grand Valley. Big win there for the Spartans. Campbell Memorial goes 17-3. It's Campbell Memorial over Cheney. Canfield and Fitch. That's an interesting one. And I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you. We'll probably talk about this on Sunday. And by probably, I mean most definitely talk about this game on Sunday. I'm going to have to reach out to the guys who know what they're talking about on this one. Ty Bartell and Anthony Hartwig. Postponed for darkness in the 10th inning is this Canfield and Fitch game. Locked up at 3-3. And I believe that last week on the Diamond Roundup, they kind of highlighted this matchup. They talked about this Canfield matchup and how big it was going to be, and it really lived up to the hype. You got Milena Toth from Canfield, and if I mess up these names, let me apologize ahead of time. I am still learning and trying to become more acquainted with the names in this large umbrella that is YSN. But Milena Toth, I believe, for Canfield, and Sydney Watts over at Fitch. And you want to talk about a pitcher's duel. I'm actually surprised it's locked up at 3-3. I would expect it to be 0-0, to be quite honest with you. Absolutely incredible. So, I know myself personally, I'm going to be invested enough to look into this Canfield Fitch game and see how it ends, because I think it's going to have a lot to do with the power rankings as well. Brookfield's going to go 10-0 over Garfield. Edgewood fall into Perry in this one, so they split the season series. Perry goes up 8-5 in this one. The ladies of PV remain perfect in the NAC as their 2-1, their 2-1 win over Chalker. And PV is another one who is starting to smell that championship on its way. LeBray goes 11-1 over Liberty. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure that we didn't miss it, but we did. All right, cool. West Branch goes 5-4 over Salem. McDonald goes 7-4 over Mineral Ridge. You got Howland falling to Boardman 5-2. South Range beats Struthers again there in that doubleheader, 13-0. I'll tell you what, I as I saw those scores coming in and those sort of things happening on it, I'll tell you, I give a lot of credit to the schools that do doubleheaders in the week, because that's tough. That is really tough because you are up against a lot of different factors, including just how late it gets. I mean, you can't start the game until I think 4:30 is as early as I've ever seen one. You start that second game at 6:30, 7 o'clock. You're talking 8:30, 9 o'clock before those things are done. But it's commitment. It's commitment, and I think it's awesome that they have that commitment toward getting their league games in particular. McDonald is 16-1 over Mineral Ridge, and Howland is going to go 3-2 over Boardman. Once again, all of these things here are going to be brought to you by ysnlive.com. We are going to head over to the scoreboard. So let me get that brought back up. One second, folks. I didn't really care for the way that one looked. There we go. Let's get into the standings because we haven't talked conference standings in quite a long time. I'm really interested for a couple things this weekend on the show. Number one being the Power 20. I think it's going to be shook up again this week. There's been some movements and there's been some lack of movement, lack of gameplay. And we talked about with that Power 20, getting your games in helps. And I'll tell you another thing. If you do your games on Game Changer, it's a lot easier to accurately get your scores. It's a lot easier to accurately follow your schedule. So, this is a plug. Consider this a plug for Game Changer. If you are one of the parents out there covering and going to every game, pop up Game Changer, hook up with the coach, let them know that you're going to be doing it because Game Changer is truly a game changer. All right, let's head over here to some of the standings here. All right, as we're going to go here into the AAC, it is Canfield on top in baseball with a perfect 5-0 record and a 10-3 overall over Fitch, who's 4-1 and 11-6 overall. Very interesting over there in that AAC. Austintown Fitch in softball, 6-0, 15-0. Canfield, 5-0, 15-1. So I talked about how big this game actually was, and this just kind of furthers that point. Whoever wins this game is going to win the conference. I can very I can very confidently say that. So this Canfield Austintown Fitch game tonight, or I'm assuming it's going to be played or replayed tonight. I don't know when they're going to do it, but whenever it is, you better watch it. It's going to be big time. A really huge game. Let's head over here to the Buckeye 8 as Harrison Central remains on top in baseball. 9-5 overall record, but a 4-1 conference record with Indian Creek at 5-3 and an overall record of 12-7. So Indian Creek, kind of falling victim to playing more games there. Indian Creek 7-1, 12-3, and then Edison is 4-2 and 14-9 over on the softball side. The CVC, we'll skip over that one. Alliance is going to be on top in the EBC, 13-3 overall record, 4-1 record in the conference, with West Branch right behind them at 5-3 and 13-4. And you know what? DJ has addressed this on a couple different occasions, and I'm going to address it again. We've had some people reach out about teams not included on the Power 20, and Alliance has been one of them. There's a lot of people that think Alliance should be not only on the Power 20, but pretty high up on the Power 20. You may be right, in the words of Billy Joel. You may be right. But right now, Alliance isn't part of the YSN coverage umbrella. We would love that to change. We would absolutely love that to change. So, the best way to do that is contact your administrators. Talk to your coaches, talk to your athletic directors, talk to your principals, superintendents, whoever you got to talk to, and let them know we want our YSN because a YSN power ranking has to have YSN teams. The same reason that the Big Ten Network doesn't include Alabama in their power rankings, it's the same reason we can't include all the teams that we're not covering, where we don't see them enough as we don't broadcast them enough, so we can't really talk educated on them. That doesn't mean that will never change. We would love to add you. The family has always got room for growth. So if you're a school that wants to be included in the great things and the free services, this is all free to the school from YSN, contact us. Let's get you on the board and let's start covering you a little bit more in depth. Over on the softball side, you got Marlington at 6-0 with a 17-1 record, and Carrollton at 4-2 with a 10-4 record there. To the EOAC, and in this one, you've got Columbiana, who stands at 10-8 and a 7-0 in the conference, and United 6-2, who is 10-6. A lot of winning baseball over there. On the softball side, you got Columbiana, who's 10-0 in the conference and 17-2 overall. The girls, wow, holy smokes! And United at 8-2 with a 12-4 overall record. Those are some really, truly impressive records. Here in the MVAC, and this is one where I was trying to see if that one is going to matter. I'll have to go back and look because this one may change. So LeBray and Crestview are locked in. They are locked up there at the top. 16-3. So actually LeBray now 17-3, and they should have 9 wins in the conference as they beat Liberty, who is in the conference. So this one has to be updated yet. I'm sure will be updated by the end of the day. But as it stands right now, Crestview and Liberty 8-2, and Champion 8-2. You got a 3-way tie right there at the top. LeBray having the best overall record at 16-3, Crestview 10-4, and Champion 8-6. You talk about a competitive conference right now. That MVAC, those guys are all chomping at each other. Jackson Milton, oh, by the way, they're 10-2, 15-5 overall. McDonald's 7-2, 9-4 overall, and Springfield 7-2, 8-4 overall. Springfield has really fought themselves back in because Springfield started off the year not great, getting their butt kicked a couple times, and they had a pretty ugly record there for a moment. But I'll tell you what, Springfield is one of those teams. It seems like in every sport they play, you just can't write them off. It doesn't matter what the record is in the beginning of the season, Springfield's always going to get it together. Champion Perfect 12-0 in the conference, 17-2 overall. Gabby Gradishar is one of the best players in Northeast Ohio, and that conference record is a result of that. Brookfield's 10-2 and a 14-3 overall record. You got Western Reserve, who's 10-0 and a perfect 13-0 overall, and McDonald 8-1 and 10-2. I'll tell you what, that Western Reserve champion game's got to happen. I would hope. You got to see the battle of the big dogs. Gonna head over here into the NAC, and here in the NAC, you got Matthews on top right now, 6-0, 12-2. Matthews, another one of the schools that people have commented on. Matthews should be on here. Matthews is better than all these teams. Again, you may be right, but until we can get Matthews under that YSN umbrella, we can't include him in anything. So the easiest way to change that is let's get Matthews in YSN. Bring me my YSN. We get Matthews in that YSN. You never know where they fall in that power rankings with their 6-0 and 12-2 overall record. Over on the baseball side, you got Maplewood, who's 3-3 and 4-6. Down in the Stripes division, you got Ashtabula St. John, who is a perfect 4-0 in the conference, and 5-3 overall. Bristol underneath of them, 4-0 and 8-8. So that's a game that most definitely has to get played. So that game gets called due to weather last week. And the boys baseball team of St. John and Bristol, they are tied for first place in their division. Over here on the softball side, you got Chalker, who's a perfect 9-0 in the conference and 12-2 overall. The Lady Tigers of Chalker have really gotten the job done. Lordstown at 4-5 with an overall of 5-6. Overall in the Stars division, it's PV. The Lakers are getting themselves to a championship, folks. 9-0 in the conference, 13-4 overall, and I don't think anybody will be able to catch them. I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's enough time in the year for anybody to catch them. So it looks like the Lady Lakers are going to collect some more championships for the town of Andover and Pymatuning Valley. Bailey Alderman and Sage Paint. It has been a year for the PV Lakers, 13-4 overall. I'm very excited to see what these young women are going to be doing in the tournament. PV is, one of those smaller schools. I think people try to overlook them, and every time they overlook them, they end up having to, look at them as they walk away from them with the championships. All right, here we go. This is the one. NE8. The NE8. Probably the most competitive conference right now in Ohio. These guys are just look at the numbers. All right, everybody, just look at the numbers and look how closely these numbers are. So Lakeview baseball, 10-1, 13-1 overall record. They got 10 wins. This is another one, and they grabbed another win yesterday. I don't think anybody's going to be able to catch the Bulldogs. It looks like they are starting to lock their jaws in on an NE8 championship this year. South Range is 6-3 with a 14-4 overall record. Struthers is 6-3 with a 9-6 overall record. Struthers is another one. I got to send them the congratulations because they have fought their way up as well. They've been, they've lived most of the season kind of in the middle of the pack there, and have fought themselves up into a tie for second. Hubbard has had an unfortunate turn of events as they go 6-4, 13-8. So last week they were 13-3, so it wasn't a great week for Hubbard. Heading over here to the softball side of things, it's South Range 9-0 in the conference, 14-2, with Lakeview right on their heels at 7-2. There is definitely still enough time for the conference to kind of get opened up here. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that one is going to go out as well. South Range softball has been phenomenal this year. Over here on the Portage Trail, you got Warren JFK 6-0, perfect in the conference, and a 10-2 overall record. Over on the softball things, not so much. Warren JFK 0-1 with only a 2-5 record. I do know that Warren JFK will be playing St. John in the tournament. So that was the game that got pulled. And I've heard some whispers of Jefferson potentially playing Ursuline softball in the tournament. So that's an interesting one there too. And speaking of Ursuline, we go over to the Steel Valley Conference, where Ursuline is 3-0 in the conference, 9-6 overall. Cardinal Mooney's 1-1, and overall record, of 6-9. On the softball side of things, you got Cardinal Mooney 2-0 in the conference, 4-2 overall, and East is going to be 2-2 with a 3-7 record overall. Those are your standings, and tonight's games. Let me get this better. It's doing that. There we go. There we go. So tonight's games on the network, as we're going to start going through those right now. Here on, I don't know why that is doing that to me. Sorry, folks. It is Friday, though. At least we got that going for us. All right, starting off on the baseball side of things, we're going to have Austintown Fitch at Canfield. That's a huge one. Alex Caberna is going to be on the call for that one right here on YSN. You want to see some really great baseball getting played? Check this one out. This is going to be a great game. Champion at Warren JFK. This one's going to be at Eastwood Field with Tim Corso on the call. Garrettsville Garfield at Waterloo. And this one is going to be Ty Bartell calling this one. Heartland Christian at Columbiana. Joe Eusebio is going to be on that one. South Range at Struthers. Bob Zani, it's going to be a school broadcast there. That's going to be played at Scene Field number 3. Uniontown Lake at Louisville with Rob Roberts on the call there. Some of the other games happening today, you got Hawken at Grand Valley, East Canton at Southern, Liberty at Youngstown East, Wellsville at Cheney, West Branch at Springfield, and this evening we have St. John hosting Maplewood on the boys baseball side. Over on the softball side of things, it's going to be Austintown Fitch and Canfield. That game is going to pick right back up at 5 o'clock. It's going to be a short one, I assume, because it's only one. There's only one inning left in that one. But Anthony Hartwig is going to finish that one out for us. You got Bristol at Warren JFK, East Canton at Southern, East Palestine traveling up to Andover to play PV. Jackson Milton at Badger, Lake Center Christian at Warren JFK, Lakeside at Howland, Liberty at Youngstown East, Sebring at Latonia, Struthers at Springfield, Indian Valley at Edison, and Maplewood at St. John on the softball side of things. So we've got a lot of baseball and softball that's going to be coming up on the network tonight. So I'm really, really excited about that. It's going to be nice to kind of get back to it. Before we end the show, I'm going to, on Fridays, I'm going to try and do something a little bit different and, kind of end the week and tie a bow on it. And I'm going to call it my Friday's final thought. And it's going to be something that is not always necessarily related to sports. I'll probably try to relate it to sports as much as possible because that's what I know. That's what I know. My life is an endless loop of sports metaphors. But this week, with all the downtime, I got a chance to sit down and watch a movie with my beautiful wife, Jessica. And we watched this movie it's called Champions. It's on Peacock. I want to encourage people to go out and watch this movie. And I'm not kidding. It's not like sponsored or anything like that. This isn't sponsored content, but I think everybody should check it out because the movie is about a man who helps people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And the last movie I can remember that even kind of touched on this subject was a movie back in the 2000s called The Ringer. It didn't necessarily put an accurate representation of what was going on. It wasn't exactly, there was some it was more of a comedy back then. But Champions, while it does remain funny, I think really gave like a genuine, like true heartfelt look at what it takes to help some of these people, some of the people that suffer from these afflictions. I think it really humanized a group of people that I think a lot of people are afraid to kind of talk about and really get involved with. And it did all of this without patronizing these young men and young women who, while they've had all these hurdles to start their life with, find ways to succeed. And I think at times people have to be reminded that, when they're adults, there are things that they can do. There are things that they are able and they are capable, and they are people just like you and me. And it was a really great look into that. And I don't know that it's 100% accurate, but I do know that it is the most, I guess, truthful look that I've seen. Like, it's honest. It was an honest look. And there was a lot of actors, who suffer from different levels of intellectual disability or developmental disability. There were some young men and young women with Down syndrome on there. And I just thought the whole thing was awesome. They did great. Woody Harrelson plays the main character. It was a funny movie. It was honest. It was great. And I bring that up because for my final thought here on this Friday, it's going to be, start treating people like people, no matter what's going on. Understand that everybody has a struggle. Everybody is going through things. And sometimes we go overboard on both ends of the spectrum, I believe. I think sometimes we completely dismiss people's struggle and give them absolutely no help. And I think sometimes we assume that people can't do anything and we give them too much help. Neither one of those things I think are the right way to go about it. Treat people like people. Let's start, looking at people honestly and giving everybody a chance, letting them prove to you what they can and can't do, and giving help when needed, not giving help when wanted. That's my final thought. That's going to do it for today's show. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We're going to be back again on Monday. It's Friday, so I'm going to take the weekend off. We'll be back here on Monday talking about all the games that are happening. Make sure you tune in tonight at 5 o'clock as we're going to start some St. John versus Maplewood. I don't know if it's baseball or softball yet. That's why I haven't committed to that. See, everything I do is strategic. But that's what's going to be happening today, folks. I want to thank you all for joining. My name is Sam Torres. This is the 440 Sports Show. I'll talk to you guys soon.
This for the football. This for the football. For the city in the back roads, got a whole county full of them goats. All from the football, and let's go. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really doubt it, yeah. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them, yeah. And Connie, I flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football.